The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. The Red Light Scrambler Series back in action here from the Pocono International Raceway. As you see the checkered flag waving here, that's the checkered flag for our practice session. Next, we're going to have the 10-minute qualifying session here for the drivers tonight. My name's Roger Muth in the booth here. Joined with me tonight here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, Donald Bennett. Donald, how are you doing tonight? Well, Donald, I think you hit the wrong button on the push to talk, but we are here from Pocono, a hometown racetrack here for myself and Donald, as we're both here from the Pennsylvania Commonwealth State, as a couple of these other drivers are also. But before we talk about those drivers out there on track, let's see who's here tonight to put in some qualifying attempts here. Coming out onto the track here for one of the first drivers out, going to be the 88 of Shawn Butler here tonight. Shawn Butler, one of those drivers here who has already punched his ticket into the chase. This is the cutoff race for the Red Light Scrambler Series. Shawn Butler has 3 wins here out of the 6, he has won 3 races, out of the 5 races he has entered here with the Scrambler Series. So Shawn Butler comes off turn number 3. Tricky Triangle here from Pocono is only a 3-turn track. It has 3 different turns. So it's going to be interesting to see how every driver negotiates and handles each one of these 3 turns. So Shawn Butler is officially on the clock here. Last week's winner of Ethan Troutman not out there on track just yet. We're waiting for the driver of the 962 to join the track here so he can get his qualifying attempt in. He had a great run last week, parking that 962 though in victory lane from the Las Vegas Raceway. Your Red Light Scrambler Series point leader, though, is the 42 of Max Terrion, as you see him right there out on track. Last time we saw these guys out on track was back in Darlington when they had their throwback race for the Xfinity Series. Max had himself a top 3 going all night long, finished in the 3rd position, if I remember correctly, without pulling the stat book out quick. But a couple drivers are putting in their qualifying times now coming across the stripe. Going to be the 972 here of David Camara. He goes P3 on the board for the time being. Ryan Oldani also puts in a qualifying time there in that 98 Ford. He goes at P5 for the time. Shawn Butler does hold that top spot. As we take a look here at the Hellfire 98 Ford, he heads down into turn 3. This is his 2nd timed lap here for Oldani. See, he's pretty far down away from that wall coming out of turn number 3. Let's see where he goes on the board here on lap number 2. Picks it up just a little bit. He goes with a 53.496 on the board, so a pretty respectable time there for Ryan as he goes 6th. Richard Murdoch, though, he's going to come out here. He's going to throw down a blistering time in that Haviland Ford. Richard Murdoch in the 01 goes 53.020. So that's pretty good for P3 on the board for the time being. Out on track, though, last week's winner here in that Chevrolet, going to be Ethan Troutman. See him coming across the line. This should be his first lap in the book. He goes P6 on the board. That's a pretty respectable starting position here tonight for himself as drivers. I believe the driver count, last I looked, we had 21 drivers out there on track. As you see Ethan get into the outside wall, so his second lap will be negated. Christopher Rothrock coming out here on the Jacobs 84 Mustang GT. Another one of the drivers out on track going to put in his first time lap as he comes out of turn number 3. Going to be the number 2 here, Joshua Buckley. Josh had a good run last week as he went P2 last week at the finish of that race. Let's see, he's going to go P5 right here in qualifying. So Buckley will go and put that car right now inside the top 5, but let's see if this guy, the number 10 of Tim Blum, can come up here and he can put himself inside the top 5. Let's see as he comes down the straightaway right now. Tim Blum going to go P2 as he's swerving down the front stretch. We see a couple drivers once we get into the race go ahead and do that as they're trying to break the draft. As these straightaways here at Pocono, we know they are long straightaways as this is a 2.6-mile oval. If you call it an oval, it does all lead back to the same spot. Let's see if we have re-established communications here. Donald, you got a copy with us here in the booth? Well, we still don't have a copy on Donald up here in the booth. We'll get him figured out here sooner or later, but this is his first time up here in the booth with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So we do want to thank and give a shout out to everybody tuning in here tonight on a Monday night to watch the Red Light Scrambler series. We still have over 4 minutes as Tim Blum going to come across the line to finish his second lap. The last lap is a little bit faster, or actually his last lap is slower, so it will not move Tim up any positions. James Skelton, though, is out here in the 86 Miller Lite Ford Mustang. He is the only one on track right now that does not have a qualifying time in. Bruce Potter is starting to roll off pit road in the 59 machine. We'll check back with Bruce here in just a little bit. So as you see James working off turn number 3, he'll take the green flag this time by.
Hey, you got me, Roger?
Well, we do have Donald. Finally, we have established communication with him in the Turn 3 booth here. Donald, welcome to Pocono with just 3 minutes left in our qualifying time. It's Pocono. It's Pocono International. It's the Tricky Triangle. What are you looking forward to here tonight for Pocono?
I'm looking for some good, hard racing. I know a couple of the guys out here. Shawn Butler, he's a heck of a guy. He's fast, drives good, you know. And I also know, wow, his name slipped my mind.
Yeah, a couple guys out here that you're going to see probably look pretty familiar. We talked about Shawn Butler in the opening, and I believe the other driver we had talked about that you knew out there on track was going to be David Camara. Right now, David Camara has that car. Well, he was sitting 7th, but as James puts in a blistering time there of a 52.976, that'll move Camara down to 8th. That'll move Skelton there up to 3rd. So with just 2 minutes left, we have one driver that is out there on track. We'll take a look at him. That's going to be the 59 of Bruce Potter there. The all-black 59 has a sleek, trimmed-out Ford Mustang here tonight. Let's see where Bruce is going to go. As Bruce puts in a time, he goes 13th quickest here on the chart. So with Bruce putting in a qualifying time here of a 53.644, that's going to pretty much wrap up qualifying. Nobody else most likely going to have a chance to put in a qualifying attempt. So we're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to get ready to grid these guys up here. We're going to get the National Anthem played. We'll be right back here at Pocono International.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and
Welcome back, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Qualifying is in the books. The 88 of Shawn Butler has taken that top spot here tonight. Let's see. Just take a quick peek here at our track facts here tonight for Pocono International. We do have a little bit of a blip there on the track description. It is not a complete circle. We know it's the tricky triangle. As I lie, the number 20 of Brandon Minto did get just a one quick sneaky lap in there, and he took the pole from Shawn Butler. So correction on our part here. Timing and scoring just a little off. But Pocono International Raceway, a 3-turn track. It's a 2.5-mile track. We got 75 laps here tonight of side-by-side action. It's going to equal out to right around 188 miles in distance. The track temp for qualifying was up over 100 degrees. It is in the late afternoon here, or mid-evening. So you do see the track temp starting to come down now as we're just about ready to roll these cars off the starting grid. It's now sitting at 98 degrees. Air temp at 75. Wind speed is a 6 mile per hour to the southwest. We'll have to see how that plays havoc with the drivers as they go down the straightaways. So as these guys are just about to start to roll off, let's see if we can walk you through your starting lineup here tonight. For your Red Light Scrambler series, Brandon Minto does take the pole with the 88 of Shawn Butler sitting right there starting P2. Third place going to be the number 10 of Tim Blum with James Skelton in the 86 machine starting in fourth. Fifth position going to go to the 33 of Eric Johnson and Richard Murdoch in sixth. Seventh spot going to go to Max Terriel, Joshua Buckley starting the number 2 in eighth position. Ninth going to go to the 972 of David Camara. Rounding out the top 10 going to be Ethan Troutman.
In 11th, we have Patrick Orr at number 81. In 12th, we have 943 Joe Strand. And 13th, we have 59 Bruce Potter. And 14th, we have number 98 Ryan Oldani. And 15th, we have number 909 Jesse Baker. And 16th, we have 184 at Kevin O'Brien. 17th, we have number 84 Christopher Rothrock. 18th, we have 11 Leo Hornage. And 19th, we have number 4 car Kyle Souza. And 20th, we have the number 997, Lee Edsel.
21st here, starting spot, going to go to Kyle Souza. Starting 20th, going to be Lee Bedsel. 21st, going to go to Tony Strano, and that rounds out the 21 car field here tonight that's about to take the green flag. 75 laps the distance here tonight for the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. There you see the pace car down and away, and we are green flag racing for the first time here at the Pocono International Raceway. A great start for the inside there of the number 20. Everybody's sort of trying to find a home right now. They know they're going to be setting it down here into turn 1 side by side for the first time. Shawn Butler's got the 88 wound up to the outside. He's going to try and make the power move. It looks like he's not going to have the momentum. Brandon Minto going to get off turn number 2. We have to go back just a little bit here to the 4th position to find third and 4th position side by side down the backstretch. That's going to be James Skelton and Tim Blum. Blum has the advantage to the inside, but Ken Skelton rolled the top side. So right now your 2 leaders have checked out to the front. They're just sitting at just under a second gap as now you see Tim Blum start to gain the advantage. Can he clear by the start-finish line? He is not going to clear James Skelton as they go side by side at the line. Skelton now pulls even as they head down into turn number 1 for the second time. First lap led here tonight from Pocono, the number 20 of Brandon Minto. 3 wide action just behind them. That's going to be the 42 of Terriot Buckley. And I believe that was David Camara as they all kind of sorted that one out down into turn number 1. Buckley going to come out, or actually it's going to be Terriot, and then it's going to be Buckley right behind him. So far, so good here. Lap number 2, we talk about how the turn 2, the tricky triangle wall coming over the tunnel turn, might jump out and catch a couple of these drivers. So far, so good. I haven't seen anybody into that outside retaining wall. Oh, maybe actually Shawn Butler just about got into the wall off turn number 3. Shawn Butler, though, yanks it down to the inside. He's going to go side by side down the front stretch here into turn number 1, side by side for your leaders.
Yeah, that was a close one, Roger. You almost got that wall.
So as they go down the backstretch, we have a new leader here. The 88 of Shawn Butler started P number 2. Now going to go to the front. See if Shawn Butler can hold on to that, if he can try and run away from Brandon Minto or maybe James Skelton, who's started to creep back into the picture right now, who's just sitting just over 0.3 of a second behind your leader. If he can start to reel him in, Tim Blum is also sitting right there on the back bumper of the 86. Looking like just about everybody started to single file out, except for right back here. It looks like that's Joe Strano back here with Ethan Troutman. They're battling it out for the 9th and 10th position side by side. That's Strano to the inside and Troutman on the outside into turn number 1. The inside is the preferred way around turn number 1. As we look at it here, you see it, Joe Strano did make the move. So he's going to take that 9th position for the time being. Now he's going to have to set his sights on the next car in front of him. That's going to be the 972 David Camara. Right now, Camara just out there kind of running his battle, trying to close in on the back bumper of the number 2 of Buckley. Kyle Souza back here running into 16th position in the number 4. Looks like for a moment he was going to duck to the inside. There he is going to duck to the inside. That's Jesse Baker right in front of him in that NOS Energy 909 Toyota. But there you saw it. Souza not able to hold the bottom going down into turn number 1. Oh, actually now Souza into the outside wall in that Busch Light number 4. Saw somebody else towards the back there. Might have been the 184 here, Kevin O'Brien, as he is off the pace just a little bit at the back of this. You see a little right front damage on that Mustang. That's going to hamper him for the rest of this event here tonight. You see him as he goes into the tunnel turn, a little off the pace. Side-by-side action, though. Bruce Potter trying to get under the number 11 here of Brodage. That's the 17th and 18th position on track, respectively. Everybody else pretty much single file out through the entire field here, Donald. They didn't see anything out there.
No. 59 and the 3 are still battling back here, though.
59 of Bruce Potter. Oh, as he touches that yellow line down there, you saw the 59 jump a little bit. There's a little bit of a bump down there. There you see the 4 of Souza out into the outside wall coming off turn number 1. That's going to put him back a little bit. That Busch Light Ford not handling the way Souza would really appreciate it here at the Tricky Triangle. And it's a difficult track. They don't just call this the Tricky Triangle in the Long Pond, Pennsylvania area for nothing. Long Pond, Pennsylvania itself is a tricky area, always kind of hampered with rain showers and whatnot. A lot of times when NASCAR comes here to Pocono, but no rain showers here today on the iRacing platform. But what we do have, and we talked about it, three different turns and a hot temperature tonight, really going to make things difficult for drivers coming off the corner. So everybody is still single filed out. It's still going to be Shawn Butler leading the way here over Brandon Minto. Then it's James Skelton, Tim Blum, and Max Terrill. Those are your top 5. As there you see it, Skelton looking to the inside here on the number 20 going down into the tunnel turn. Looks like Skelton's going to have the position. He went right to the inside. Also right along with him going to be the number 10 here of Tim Blum. Blum's going to try and take the position into turn 3. He has the position. He has the advantage to the inside lane here. The advantage, though, it might be going to the number... Is that the 42? There is the 42 of Max Terrill also trying to come along. So Tim Blum, James Skelton, all past the number 20 of Brandon Minto. Now here comes Max Terrill also to the inside, and he's going to try to go for a 2-for-1 here as he jumps to the inside on the number 10 here of Tim Blum. Blum going to give him the position. He just goes high here in turns 1. Down into the tunnel turn once again. Single file through your top couple drivers. You got to go back here to the 10th position because the side-by-side battle still battles on back here. Joe Strano, Ethan Troutman still throwing punches at each other. Right behind them going to be the 01 of Richard Murdoch. I believe Murdoch, Donald, maybe you get a better camera angle on the 01 of Richard Murdoch. I think he may have been into the outside wall with that right front fender just a bit. That's going to play havoc down these long straightaways here at Pocono.
Yes, he does have a little damage on that front end there on the right side.
As you take a look at that battle, here comes Murdoch. He looked like he was going to take it 3 wide. That's going to push Joe Strano way up the track. Murdoch going to get the bottom lane. That's the preferred lane. Look how much momentum Joe Strano lost. He lost 2 positions, 1 corner, and now he's fighting to try and stay right in front of the 98 there of Old Danny. Ryan Oldani trying to make that 98 Ford come through the field here tonight. Now has moved up into the 11th position. Strano still trying to find his way back down to the bottom lane. There goes Ryan. Here comes Patrick Orr in that 81. Wayne's World 81 machine. They both move around him. So it looks like Joe Strano going to go from running in the 8th position all the way back to about the 13th spot before he found a home on the inside lane. Trouble in front. The number 10, Tim Blum, has gone around here. Tim Blum going around on the front stretch right around the start-finish line. That's an unusual spot to see a car trying to take that left-hand turn. Let's see if we can take a look back here and find it on the replay. He was battling up inside the top 5 at the time of this incident. As we look back here, as you see the 10 of Tim Blum going to the inside here, that's going to be, I believe that's the 86 there that he is battling with. And they come off turn 3. There you see it. Oh, contact. It looks like Blum maybe didn't know the 86 was sitting right there to the inside quarter panel. James Skelton going to turn around the number 10 here of Tim Blum as they were coming down the front stretch. Tim Blum just maybe panicked. Maybe he was close to that outside wall. Let's take it back just a little bit here and see as they come off turn 4. Maybe you can see it from this angle just a little better. Oh, it does look like Blum kind of tossed it off the corner there. Almost into the outside wall. Unfortunately, comes across the front bumper there on the 86 and finds the inside retaining wall here in Pocono. So that'll put us under our first caution flag here of this evening. Shawn Butler finds himself out front so far here tonight. Well, Donald, eight laps led by the Butler out front. Is it something that you kind of thought was going to happen here coming into Pocono?
Oh, absolutely. He's a hell of a racer, and he runs real hard, and he's fast. I have had the privilege of racing with him, and I'd like to know what kind of Kool-Aid he drinks because I ain't anywhere near his speed. So,
yeah, Shawn Butler, one of those guys. You always can catch him out there running the gray ghost, if you will, from Dale Earnhardt Jr., even though he has it a little bit mixed up. He's out there running an 88 on a Toyota. I'm not sure if that's, on purpose or what. Maybe it gives him a little bit of more speed. A couple drivers, though, they really enjoy driving just certain cars. Shawn Butler, one of those guys that drives Toyotas mainly, and, well, he finds himself out front right now in the Toyota. Sitting second, going to be the 42 in a Chevy. That's going to be Max Terrialt. James Skelton, though, going to hang on to that third position with that 86 Ford Mustang. Running in your fourth position, going to be the number 20 of Brandon Minto. And how about Eric Johnson quietly just sitting there in your fifth spot? Here comes all your leaders. You should most likely see them down pit road here. 4 fresh tires is going to be the call, and fill her up with Sunoco race fuel.
yeah, Roger, I'm going to say Richard Murdoch and that damage on the front end there doesn't seem to be slowing him down.
Yeah, Murdoch up inside the top 10 with that little bit of damage, as we do have one driver staying out here. That's going to be the number 11 of Leo Brodage. He's going to be credited with 1 lap led here. That's why he was staying out to get that bonus point. But everybody else down pit road for the time being. Going to have to take a look, see if we can find the first car off pit road, as here they come. The Jacks are dropping. First one off pit road going to be the 42 of Terrialt. It's coming right behind him. Going to be the 88 of Shawn Butler. Then it's going to be Eric Johnson, Brandon Minto. Richard Murdoch going to pick up a ton of positions down pit road. Then it's going to be David Camara in 7th. Joshua Buckley 8th. Ethan Troutman there in 9th. James Skelton going to lose a lot of position. He spent 17.2 seconds sitting in his pit box. So now he's going to have to try and come back up through the field to get to a top 5 spot. Well, let's see if we can get a word in real quick with one of the drivers out there on track that was involved in that. Let's see if we can get a word in with the 10 here of Tim Blum. Tim, it's Roger and Donald here in your Turn 3 booth. You got a copy?
Hey, guys. Yeah, how you doing?
Well, we're doing pretty good. The 10 looked pretty racy there in the early going here from Pocono, but tell us what happened off turn number 3.
Yeah, that was just a racing deal. That was no fault of James at all. I was so close to the wall, I tried to come down off of it, and he was there. And it was sort of funny after that. He clipped me, and I was trying to save it, and I think I wiggled back and forth like 5 times before he couldn't slow down enough and just sent me spinning down towards the inside.
Yeah, so tell us, how beat up is that number 10 machine here tonight? Is it going to be able to keep up in or down the straightaways? Because we know straightaway speed here from Pocono means a lot.
Yeah, that's my question too. It said it was 25 seconds of repair, so that's not so bad. I think the right rear's crinkled up, so that is gonna hurt. But we're gonna give it hell. Gotta try to see what we can do in this race. I'm locked into the next playoff bout, so this is just sort of testing time now.
Yeah, you do have one win in the back pocket here, so this damage here tonight from Pocono not going to really hamper, what's going forward into the championship hunt for yourself. Well, good luck. Get 4 fresh tires as we see you're back down pit road on that number 10 Camaro, and see if you can work your way through the field with just a little bit of damage.
Yeah, thanks, man. Stay tuned.
Well, there you heard it from the number 10 of Tim Blum. Has a little bit of damage on that machine, but he'll be back out on track. Taking over the lead here, going to be the 42 of Max Terriot. Shawn Butler going to be in second. Eric Johnson is third here on the restart, with Brandon Minto fourth. Richard Murdoch will start in your 5th spot. The 11 of Theo Brodage did stay out here under the yellow flag here when all your leaders did pit, so he did get 1 lap led. But while we were talking to the number 10 of Tim Blum, he elected to bring the 11 down pit road and get service done to that. So Donald's going to be the first restart you're about to see here from Pocono. 3-4 wide on the front stretch, or are these guys going to be pretty calm?
I think they'll keep calm. It's still early in the race. No reason to send it this early. But you never know. I mean, there's guys out there trying to fight for that win, maybe get themselves into the chase. So.
You never know as the pace car is down and away. Max Terriot going to fire off right here. There you see the 10 of Tim Blum come screaming into the picture. He didn't quite get back to the field in time for the green flag, so he's going to be behind the 8 ball a little bit. There goes Max. He's going to jump up to the outside. He got a great start over the 88 of Shawn Butler. Question is he going to be able to hang on? Look at Brandon Minto way up the track there in the number 20 Barstool Sports Camaro. He's going to actually be able to take Richard Murdoch on the outside and hold on to the 4th spot. Side-by-side battle then has to go back to the 7th position here. That's going to be Josh Buckley and David Camara. As the 2 there of Josh Buckley does. Oh, somebody into the outside wall there right here, right in front of your leaders. Didn't quite see who that was. It might have been the 33 of Eric Johnson. Actually, it looks like that is going to be actually the 88 of Shawn Butler. Hard contact at the tunnel turn wall. Look at all the damage on the front end of that 88. A lot of damage on that 88 Camry. Gonna have to pay attention to that. We know Shawn's a quick driver out there, but with that much damage, is he going to be able to hang on to a top 5 finishing spot here? Shawn has 3 wins, so it's not going to hurt him in the championship hunt. But could this open up the door for somebody who doesn't have a win, like the man sitting right behind him, the 33 of Eric Johnson? He does not have a win here this season, and he would like to get it at none other than a tricky triangle here at Pocono. The unsponsored 33 of Eric Johnson sitting right there in your 3rd spot for the time being. Oh, somebody into the outside wall. A couple Bruce Potters into the outside wall. And I believe that may have been the 997 there of Betzel into the outside wall also in that Camaro. A couple guys getting tight off turn number 4, possibly back to the throttle just a little too soon.
Yeah, Roger, did you see what happened to the 11, Leo? actually just came out of the pit.
Leo Brodage was down pit road, I believe, because there was no lap down cars when Leo Brodage elected to stay out here under that first yellow flag. That might have been about a 15-second hold penalty. I'm not sure. We'll have to check back a little bit later, see if we can get confirmation on that. But right there behind him, that's your leaders. He only has about a 10-second gap, not even back to your leader, so he's in real trouble right now of going a lap down. Right there's your leaders coming down the front stretch as Leo goes down into turn number 1. Back behind your main pack, though, sitting in about the 14th position. A couple of these guys have a lot of right front damage on these cars. That's Leo Betzel, Chris Rothrock, and Tony Strano. All these guys back here, Tim Blum, Kyle Souza, Bruce Potter, all these guys have been up into the outside wall at one point or another here tonight, and you can see how it's really starting to hamper their night and their speed down the straightaway as they're sitting all about 5 seconds back now off your leader, about a second behind the rest of the pack. Ryan O'Danny is your last driver that's kind of connected to this pack as he sits 3.5 seconds behind the leader, and everybody out front is sitting single file except now Shawn Butler. We talked about how his car was damaged, that he was the one into the outside wall. iRacing lied to us, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that, a brand new 88 on that. Sometimes, this is the iRacing platform. This is internet-based racing. So sometimes things like that, a connection to somebody may get a little haywire. You might see sparks, and iRacing is telling you they were in the wall one lap, but you go down into turn number 2. Next thing you know, they're about 50 yards out in front of you. And, well, Shawn Butler's not 50 yards out in front of Max Terriault, but he does have a brand new car, so now Max has got a rear view mirror full of the 88 of Butler.
Yeah, I think Shawn Butler's going to get around him here. And I don't know. He has a fast car. He's running pretty good, so...
Yeah, take notice to the two different lines that Max Terriault ran that time through turn 3 and Shawn Butler. Butler right down around that bottom line. Max Terriault probably about a half a car length up the track. Let's see how they go down here into turn number 1. Both drivers right down there, just about on that white or that yellow line. Max has the advantage though, as he's out front, so that kind of creates an aero pocket between him and the 88 of Shawn Butler. So every time Max Terriault goes down there to that inside lane and Shawn Butler tries to follow him, that 88 gets a little bit tight as there's no air flowing to the front nose of that 88 machine. Both drivers able to work their way through the tunnel turn, so all is well here at the front of the field. Let's take a look though as they come through turn number 3. Shawn Butler with a late turn down there. You see actually the connection issue we were just talking about, the 88 blinking off the screen just a little bit. But you were able to see that time Shawn Butler with a late entry into turn number 3. Max Terriault kind of turned down there early. So two different lines being driven there. As these guys have spread out just a little bit here on lap 20. Let's see if we can work our way through the field here. Max Terriault is out front with Shawn Butler sitting second. Butler started second and led a bunch of laps here in the early going. Now it's just kind of stalking the 42 who's out front. Sitting third, going to be the 33 here of Eric Johnson. Your pole setter here tonight, the number 20 of Brandon Minto, now running in your 4th spot with that Barstool Sports sponsorship here tonight from Pocono. David Camara, how about that? Sitting in your 5th spot here tonight, the 972 driver out of the Northeast, having a good showing here. Josh Buckley, last week's runner-up finisher, running right ahead of last week's winner, so they are battling for the 6th and 7th position. There you see Buckley up and out of the groove, just about almost into the outside wall, exiting turn number 3. Buckley running 6th, Troutman running in your 7th spot. Richard Murdoch doesn't seem to be showing any weakness with that right front damage. He runs in the 8th spot. And how about James Skelton? Was involved in that early incident there with the number 10 of Tim Blum. You can see the damage on that Miller Lite Ford. He sits there running in the 9th position. Rounding out the top 10, going to be the 81 there of Patrick Orr. He just kind of hits or tags onto the back of this group as there's a battle right behind him. Ryan O'Danny trying to take over the 11th spot from Joe Strano. These two have kind of been attached at the hip all race long. Ryan going to take the position there. He's going to put that 98 machine now sitting in the 11th spot. A little bit of a battle low up here. Josh Buckley to the inside on the number 20 of Minto. Buckley going to take that position off for. Oh, it looks like the 86 of, 86. That was Skelton into the outside wall off turn number 3. A little bit of a scrape there for that driver, as he thought for a moment like he was going to go back around Richard Murdoch, but not having the momentum down into turn number 1.
Yeah, Roger, you got to watch that turn there. It'll jump out and bite you.
Yeah, you and I pretty familiar with Pocono Raceway. We race here a lot ourselves just on the iRacing platform, not just because it's our home track for you and I. As you see, Richard Murdoch jump down to the inside here on Troutman, so Troutman's going to lose a position, might possibly lose 2 positions. It's just one of those tracks that if you can get a really good handle on it, it's almost like the skills you learn at Pocono can pretty much take you far and wide just about to any track on the NASCAR circuit, because it offers 3 different turns, 3 different straightaway sizes, the front stretch being the longest, as they do drag racing at Pocono Raceway on the front stretch, and then that back stretch they have. You know, it's just a tad shorter than your front stretch here, and then you shoot down into the tunnel turn and you come across the back there on the short chute, which is pretty much no bigger than a straightaway at Bristol. So 3 different straightaway sizes, 3 completely different corners, turn 1 being banked the most out of all of them. Then it's the slippery tunnel turn. They call it the tunnel turn because that's the entrance into the infield here at Pocono where all the haulers come through. So there's a big tunnel down there. It gets the cars out of shape. Then it's down into flat turn number 3, which you really have to back that corner up to get the straightaway speed, as we're still watching James Skelton try and work his way back through the field here, as now he goes to the inside in turn 3 on the 01 of Murdoch. You see a lot of these guys still here on lap 11, able to hold the bottom lane as they come through turn number 3. Out front, Max Terriot still holding the lead over Shawn Butler. Might have opened it up just a little bit, about 2.5 car length lead over the 88. They are, though, coming up on that slower traffic. Leo Brodage still sitting out in front of your leaders, but not by much. Still just about 10 seconds in front. We do have one driver that has loaded it up here tonight. The 997 of Lee Betzel has loaded that car up, and he'll head off to the next round here, which will be round 1 of the playoffs here for the Red Light Scrambler Series. You can catch that next week. They'll be running the trucks over at ISM Raceway. And as we talked about, Lee Betzel heading to the shed tonight. It looks like the 909 as of Jesse Baker also going to head to the shed, as you just saw it on the screen. The 33, Eric Johnson, coming off turn number 3 into the outside wall hard with that right front. So that'll put damage on the right front fender of the 33 for Eric Johnson. David Camara. Go ahead, Donald. David Camara, though, is working his way up through the field, now running 4th.
Yeah, it's always a shame seeing people pack it up, you know. You always want to come out and put on a good showing, and you know, to make an early exit, it's always a shame, you know. Yeah, I mean, you always want to put it in a good show, being as this is the last race before the chase, and you know, try to get as many points as you can, and try to hopefully get yourself in the chase.
Yeah, so as those two drivers head to the haulers a little bit earlier than they would like, Jesse Baker going to be credited right now with a 20th place finish. Lee Betzel going to be credited with a 21st place finish. So we're still kind of peaking back here right around that 5th, 6th, 7th position, as Josh Buckley right now holds on to the 5th position. Brandon Minto is 6th. James Skelton runs there in your 7th position. And Skelton is all over the back end of that Barstool sponsored number 20 of Brandon Minto. Minto has started to slide back here on the later runs. He had a really fast qualifying time as he kind of judged it right as we were away watching the National Anthem. He snuck in there with a great qualifying attempt to steal the pole away here tonight. But on these long runs, that 20 has started to fade, as now here comes James Skelton. Skelton does have the position at the line, so credit the 86 with the 6th position for the time being. You see these cars are not that easy to drive down the front stretch here at Pocono, reaching speeds of 180 105 miles an hour plus, almost 190 for some of these drivers when they're sitting in the draft, as you saw. The 86 there of Skelton, kind of a little wobbly by the time he got to the back to the corner. And how about this? The 20 of Minto there giving him a shot down the backstretch.
Yeah, Roger, you should, these two front guys are battling out here. Shawn Butler was peeking into that corner to see if he could get around Max there.
As there you saw it, Donald called it back out front with Max Terriot, Shawn Butler. They have caught Leo Brodage, so now Leo's kind of sitting in the way. Where your leader's going to go as they come down the front stretch here. Oh, Buckley sideways behind the leaders coming off turn number 4. Josh Buckley, who is running in your 5th position, got a little bit sideways into the outside wall off turn number 4. He's going to lose a bunch of positions, and now there's right front damage on that machine. So he'll go from running inside your top 5 all the way back to the 9th position, trying to salvage something here at this point. Right in front of them, Richard Murdoch, though, trying to take to the inside here on James Skelton. He's not going to have the momentum. He's going to have to duck back in the line here. Back out front here, there goes Leo Brodage. He's going to go to the outside. Max Terriot to the inside. He's going to bring Shawn Butler right around him. So that'll put Leo Brodage, our first car, 1 lap down here. Coming through turn 3, still nose to tail for your leaders. At this point, you're probably thinking about when is the first green flag pit stop going to come, because Kyle Souza's down pit road. Here comes, it looks like, David Camara. Camara going to peel off, and he'll be the first one out of your lead pack down pit road. Kyle Souza just coming out of pit road. There you saw that car just blip past us. Here comes Shawn Butler. Butler going to peek to the inside here. There is that lap down car, the 4 of Kyle Souza. He's going to politely move over and allow your leaders to go right around him on the outside lane. Shawn Butler, Max Terriot, though, side by side here on lap 29 into the tunnel turn 2x2. Max is going to give way. It's going to allow Butler to go back to the front. But can Max Terriot come back? He has a good run off the tunnel turn, right to the back bumper of the 88 going into 3. He releases off the bumper of Shawn Butler. He allows him to go, but look at the closing rate. Here comes Kyle Souza. Looks like Max Terriot going to come down pit road here. He's going to be the first one on pit road of your 2 leaders. Looks like the 33 of Eric Johnson going to come down, and I believe it's going to bring a slew of drivers along with him. Here comes Brandon Minto, Ethan Troutman, Josh Buckley also coming down, Patrick Orr, Ryan O'Danny, Tim Blum. Looks like he's going to stay out here. He's going to play the long run game at this point. So these drivers all going 18 laps on this strategy. A couple other guys staying out here. It looks like that's going to be Bruce Potter staying out also, along with Kevin O'Brien. Out front, though, it is Shawn Butler leading the way. The question is, where is everybody going to start to cycle back out here from their pit stops? Pit stops taking about 14 seconds. It looks like Murdoch had the fastest pit stop so far under green flag with a 13.4. That is the quickest 4-tire stop of the race so far. So whatever Murdoch gave his pit crew, he should probably double it for that pit stop. We're going to see where he cycles back out through, but Shawn Butler is down pit road, and he's bringing along, it looks like, James Skelton. And correction, Murdoch actually is down pit road, Donald. That is my mistake. He had that pit stop under yellow.
Yep.
So as all these drivers are down pit road, that turns it over to the number 10 here of Tim Blum. He's got a lot of damage at this point, though. He's staying out there. He's going to notch his name into the record book here if he can get back around one more time to the start-finish line. He's well off the pace, though. You could hear it there as he came past our camera in the tunnel turn. Tim Blum shutting the motor off. He needs to get back to the start-finish line to lead a lap, but it might not have enough fuel. He's been out there 19 laps. That's the farthest we've seen anybody stretch it on fuel. We had 20 laps as kind of the marker, and here he comes down pit road. He was staying out there to lead a lap. The question is, can he lead this lap before it looks like the 42 of Max Terriot get back to him? Max, it looks like he's sitting about 20 seconds behind, so Tim Blum should be able to notch his name into the book here, as there it is. Tim Blum going to flash on our screen there. He does lead one lap. Here comes Max Terriot, though. He has opened up that lead. Max Terriot right now going to come across the start-finish line, waiting for timing and scoring to kind of cycle it back through. Max going to have a 2-second lead right now over Shawn Butler. So as they pit cycles start to cycle through here from Pocono, it's Max Terriault, Shawn Butler, David Camara in third. Eric Johnson going to lose one position to David Camara, so that'll put Johnson running in the 4th spot. Troutman sitting there in 5th with James Skelton running in your 6th spot. Patrick Orr now runs 7th. Richard Murdoch had a good pit stop. It was a 14.6 second pit stop. We talked about how Murdoch had that 13-second pit stop that was under yellow. This time under green, went with a 14.6 in his pit box. Josh Buckley going to lose a little bit of position. He goes to 9th, and Ryan O'Danny going to hang on to that top 10 spot right now, running 10th right in front of Joe Strano. And there you see the gap, the interval between Max Terriault, Shawn Butler as they come down into turn number 1. Your two leaders are about the same distance apart between first and second, as second to third are. So everybody's starting to spread out here from Pocono. It's one of those tracks. It's a big track. As you see just off into the distance, it looks like that's going to be Ryan O'Danny trying to take it to the inside there on Josh Buckley. He's not able to. They are both on the same tire strategy. Just not able to make that pass just yet. Remember, Josh Buckley was into the outside wall in turn 3 about 15 laps ago. Yes, he came down pit road and has the 4 fresh tires, but it looks like also Ryan might have been into the outside wall also as he goes to the inside here in the tunnel.
Yeah, Roger, if you don't watch what you're doing, you'll end up catching that wall, for sure. It's a tricky track, and I know I myself have ran here a couple times and caught the wall myself, so.
Yeah, as we just saw Ryan O'Danny finally make the pass on the number 2 here of Josh Buckley. Buckley going to push him down that backstretch into the tunnel turn. These are your two closest drivers out on track right now, and it's actually a battle between 3 drivers. That's going to be O'Danny here, Buckley, and Strano. Another little battle's brewing right here, though. The 33, Eric Johnson, has caught the back bumper here on David Camara. That's the battle for your 3rd and 4th position. Johnson not going to peek out going down into here to turn 1, but he's going to let Camara know that he's sitting there. He is riding as both drivers a little farther off the yellow line than they probably would like to be. As Eric Johnson, though, going to get a really good run off turn number 1. What's he going to do as he goes down the backstretch? He looks like he's just going to sit there and ride. He's going to show the nose to Camara. Down into the tunnel goes. Johnson going to have the inside advantage. Camara lets go. He allows the 33 there of Johnson to take back that 3rd position. He'll ride behind him now, running in 4th. So Johnson to 3rd, Camara to 4th. Well, let's check back out front, because that lead that Max Terriault had coming out of pit road, which was 2 seconds at one point, has now started to shrink. There you see it at the start-finish line. You see it real good. About 1 tractor-trailer length. That equals up to right around, well, a half second between their top 2 drivers here. Shawn the Butler is coming, and he is on the hunt. There you see Butler right down there on that yellow line. You see the bumps in turn 1. You still see the cars starting to bump. If you get back into the throttle at the wrong time down there, you could possibly get a really bad push and it'd send the car up the track. So both the drivers that are at the front of this one have wins this season, so if either one of these drivers were to win tonight, it wouldn't really matter too much going into the playoffs. But Max Terriault, you saw him push high there coming through the tunnel turn. That's going to allow Shawn Butler here to get to the inside going through turn 3. Shawn Butler has the spot, had the momentum for a little bit, but didn't get back to the throttle in time coming off turn 3. So Max Terriault going to make the outside lane work in turn 3. Donald, occasionally you can make the pass to the outside on turn 3, but it's predominantly an inside line corner.
Yeah, I myself, I don't like trying to pass people on the outside. I find myself, I go up and catch that wall a little too much.
So as we break away here from the guys out front, let's take a look back, because Josh Buckley looked like he was just about into the outside wall That's going to allow Joe Strano to get to the outside, but Strano not going to have the momentum to clear him before they get into turn number 3, it looks. Or turn 2, actually. That is turn 2. Looked for a moment the way the bumps were that it was possibly coming out of turn 2 into 3, but it was not. Joe Strano been just kind of chilling, hanging around the 10th position all night in that 943 DC Solar Camaro. He got that damage early on. Remember, he was battling with Ryan O'Danny for a number of laps here in your first 30 laps. It seemed like they were locked together at the hip. But right now, Ryan O'Danny is running in your 9th position. Joe Strano running in your 11th. So there's just Josh Buckley in between those guys right now.
Yeah, Roger, as I'm cycling through the cars, there ain't many clean cars out here right now.
Not many clean cars, but the battle for the lead, it just changed hands going into turn 3. Max Terriot did just allow Shawn Butler right to the inside as he entered turn 3. He knows Butler's a little bit faster, has 1 lap fresher tires, as we're just about halfway through this tire run already before we hit our second green flag pit stops if we can get there. So as now Shawn Butler is out front, he's pulled already 2, 3, 4 car lengths just about on Max Terriot. There you see it. Max still has the draft as he actually got a better run that time off turn number 1. Started to close that gap just a little bit back to Shawn Butler. There you see it though. Terriot off that yellow line there. Butler going to get the better run off the tunnel turn, so he'll extend that lead just a little bit more.
Yeah, Shawn Butler's front end damage on the right side there doesn't seem to be slowing him down at all.
Yeah, remember back in the early going when we thought Shawn Butler was hard into the turn 3 wall, and then iRacing kind of threw us a curveball there. Well, now Shawn Butler has been into the wall at some point there. You see the right front fender of that Toyota Camry a little bit wrinkled up, but the 42 Max Terriot, that car looks fairly clean. If he's going to run back there behind Shawn Butler, maybe try and get a little bit better fuel mileage on the 42 at this point. We're still not quite, well, we are over halfway where we got 36 laps to go here from Pocono, but you're still going to, I think this is still going to be a 2-stop race here. A lot of drivers might break this up here in about 18 to 18 laps. So if they pit here in the next handful and then pit again in 18 laps, they should be able to make it the rest of the distance. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategy is played out between the front two. We saw last time Max Terriot hit pit road before the 88 of Shawn Butler. Will we see that again, or will we see the roles kind of reversed? David Camara still running in your 4th position. James Skelton, though, sitting right there. He started to reel back in the 972 Camara. Camara's car, though, probably looks like it's the cleanest out there on track. Donald, you were talking about a number of laps ago, not too many guys having clean cars. I believe David Camara might have the cleanest car out there on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and the number 42, they have probably the cleanest cars out on the track. I mean, I'm looking at Max here right now, and it doesn't seem like he has too much damage himself, so I definitely say that David Camara definitely has a clean car, though.
David just one of those guys that's going to come out here. He's going to run his race. This is kind of his style of track. You're not side by side a lot around here at Pocono other than your main initial restarts. And right now, Camara is just doing what he needs to do, hanging out inside the top 5 here tonight.
Sometimes that's the best way to go, and then, send it at the end of the race.
David Camara running 4th, who needs a win here to lock himself into the playoffs, along with Eric Johnson. Neither of those two drivers have wins on the season, so both of them could really use a win to lock themselves in. Last week, Eric Johnson actually dropped 5 positions in the points. He was running actually 2nd and ended up losing 5 spots. Now runs 6th in the point standings. Both of them having good runs here tonight. It looks like now Camara is really starting to pull on to the 33 of Eric Johnson. So it's going to be in just a handful of laps. It's going to be a battle here for the 3rd spot between Johnson, Camara, and Skelton. How about that 81 out there, Donald? Wayne's World car. I think you called that out in the pre-race. That was probably one of your favorite paint schemes you've seen out here in a good while.
Who was that?
The 81 there, Patrick Orr, running in your 8th position.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that movie a time or two.
Wayne's World, I believe, came out in the decade that you were born, and it was one of those movies that kind of lived on forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just one of them movies. The first one was definitely a lot better than the second one. I've seen the second one. I don't really care for it, but it's still a heck of a show, or a movie.
That's a heck of a movie, but how about this battle that's still brewing? Max Terriot has caught the back bumper once again here on the 88 of Shawn Butler. This could be a movie series all on its own right here between these two drivers as they work up onto, I believe that's the 184 there. That would be Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien runs right now in your 17th spot. As a little bit of a connection issue there for Kevin O'Brien as he blinked out there as they went down into turn number 2. There you see O'Brien a little up the track, not down into the groove. Your leaders are going to catch him probably here right around the exit of turn 3, so we're going to have to see how Kevin O'Brien kind of negotiates. I'm going to say how he negotiates through traffic, but it's really going to be between those two that are right behind him. Going to be the 88 of Shawn Butler and the 42 here of Max Terriot. There you go. There you see the 184. He goes straight down the track. He's going to allow your two leaders to go by on the outside at the start-finish line there. So Shawn Butler going to lead another lap. That'll give Shawn Butler 17 laps so far led. 31 laps left here tonight. So with these two drivers at the front of the field, nobody else throughout the field actually close to each other. These are your two closest drivers. We'd have to go right around this battle right here between Patrick Orr, if you want to call it a battle. Patrick Orr and Ryan O'Danny, they are the next closest group pair to each other. So they haul off down into turn number 2. Ryan O'Danny started to close up a little bit each time through the corner. He's getting a good draft down the straightaway on Patrick Orr, and Ryan that time actually looks like he kind of slipped as he went down into turn number 3. Patrick Orr up the track. Couple guys coming down pit road here, it looks like. First couple drivers down pit road. Shawn Butler actually is your first man down pit road. Then it's going to be David Camaro, James Skelton coming down, Ryan O'Danny. Also coming down, Josh Buckley, Joe Strano. Handful of drivers down pit road here on lap 46. That turns the lead once again over to Max Terriot. The last green flag pit stops, Donald, we saw Max come down this time. It's going to be the 88 is Shawn Butler first to pit road.
Yeah, I was going to say how the roles are reversed there. Definitely interesting to see how this plays out.
Now, Pocono is one of those tracks, Donald. We've seen it played both hands. You know, sometimes the guy who stays out later on the last pit stop actually has the fresher tires at the end of the race, and he's able to run down as you see Max Terriot come down pit road. But sometimes iRacing, especially with a fixed setup, might be better off coming down pit road first.
Yeah, that turns over the lead to Richard Murdoch. You know, it's just interesting to see him doing so well with the damage in the front end there. And, you know, there for a little bit, I thought the damage was going to slow him down. But, you know, he doesn't seem to be hurting him that much, so. But then you have 962 Ethan Troutman, last week's winner, sitting in second place, not doing bad himself. You know, maybe he's going down the pit. Maybe he'll get some fresh tires, and maybe we'll see him win this.
Yeah, Eric Troutman coming down pit road. He's going to turn over the second place. Last week coming home P1, last week P1 from Las Vegas. Now Troutman finds himself having a good run here from Pocono as he's down pit road. That'll leave just two drivers out there battling for the lead. That's going to be Richard Murdoch out there yet as he's still leading the way. And then it's Tim Blum. Remember, Blum stretched it 20 laps on fuel last time. Right now, he still has 4 laps to go until he can hit that pit cycle. Going to be interesting to see if he continues to try that strategy. But let's take a peek to see where a couple of the drivers that have already pitted are. There's Shawn Butler, and then 2.7 seconds back, going to be Max Harris. So those were your 2 leaders coming into pit road, and they are the same way that we kind of left off there with those 2. But now there's a 2.6 second gap between them. Here comes Richard Murdoch. He's going to come down pit road in that 01 Texaco Havlin Camaro. He'll give over the lead here in just a couple seconds here to the number 10 here on Tim Blum.
Yeah, Roger, it blows my mind, Tim Blum, out here doing as well as he is with all that damage on the front of his car.
Yeah, the number 10, the Triple C sponsored number 10 here for Tim Blum. You saw him get in that one yellow flag incident that we had as came off turn number 3. It was just a racing incident between him and James Skelton. Kind of put Tim Blum behind the 8 ball here for the rest of the race. He's been kind of now on his own strategy this whole time, as he's been running out there longer than anybody else on a set of tires, on the set of fuel that he has in the tank, as he's still out there. He is the only one who has not been down pit road, as Richard Murdoch was the last one before him to pit. Murdoch still sitting down there or actually is back out on the track. Now here comes Tim Blum this time. He'll only go 18 laps on a tank of fuel this time. As there goes Shawn Butler. Butler going to go by him. He'll take over the lead here on lap 50. 26 laps to go here from Pocono Raceway tonight. Shawn Butler, Max Terriot, they've been putting on one heck of a show out front for us tonight. Max Terriot now has the lead cut down to a 1.8 second lead. So the question is, can Max kind of reel back in the Butler? Then it's a huge gap all the way back till you can find Eric Johnson. That's a 9-second gap off the back bumper of Shawn Butler. He sits there in 3rd, and just 1 second behind him, sitting in your 4th spot, going to be the 972. That's David Camara. Tick-tock, David Camara sitting there running 4th. Ryan O'Danny, how about that, Donald? Big pickup. Went from running in the 7th position to running 5th off pit road. That's going to be the 98 here of Ryan O'Danny.
Hey, you got some battling going on back here with, is that Ethan Troutman and Patrick Orr? Ethan Troutman just actually passed it must be the fresh tires that he just put on there, and seems to be paying off.
Yeah, Ethan Troutman staying out there a little bit longer than a lot of these guys that are in the top 5 right now, and actually he's starting to really make those new tires come to life. As we're under caution here, we got a caution flag out on the raceway. Might involve the 184 here of Kevin O'Brien. Not exactly sure. We didn't catch it live. Let's see if we can go back on an instant replay here and find that. As Kevin O'Brien was running back in your 19th position, 2 laps down at the time of yellow. Let's see what happens here. Oh, off turn number 3. It looks like he just got a little tight there. Oh boy. Donald, he found the water barrier off turn number 3. We've seen that a time or two here from Pocono. Get tight off turn number 4. Wind up in the tire barrier. Let's go on board here with Kevin O'Brien and see exactly his point of view of this.
Yeah, Roger, if I'm mistaken, I think you've done that a time or two.
I have definitely done that a time or two here from Pocono. You just try to get back to the gas a little bit too soon. And unfortunate, you find that wall, and then you find that tire barrier. It just comes up out of nowhere. So Kevin O'Brien, unfortunately, most likely going to end his night here a little bit earlier than he wanted to. Yeah, he was down the pace a little bit. He was running back in, what was that, the 17th place at the time, but with 25 laps to go, that's not how you want to end your night. You've already ran 51 laps. You just kind of want to finish it out. So now this is going to throw the monkey wrench in here. We're going to pit here with 23 laps to go in the event. We haven't seen anybody go more than 20 laps. We've seen the 10 of Tim Blum come down on lap 20 of a pit cycle. And we're not going to be able to run this one out on the tank of fuel. So it's going to be interesting strategies once we hit pit road here and then go back green flag racing. A lot of these guys, remember, were just in pit road about right around 5-6 laps ago, and everybody's going to come down. Shawn Butler, Max Terriot, Eric Johnson, David Camara, Ryan O'Danny down pit road. Looks like the 11 of Leo Brodage going to get a lap back here, so that'll put him back on the lead lap, being the last car right now. A couple guys like Kyle Souza, Christopher Rothrock, and Bruce Potter looks like they could possibly take the wave around here and get back onto the tail end of the lead lap. We'll have to see if those guys elect to take that or if they're going to come down and put 4 fresh tires on. Either way, you can't make it from here. Who's going to be the first one off pit road? Well, that's going to be Shawn Butler. He'll be the first one off pit road. Max Terriot going to come out second. Eric Johnson going to be the third one off pit road. David Camara is the fourth one. Fifth one off pit road, Ryan O'Danny. But look at the timing and scoring. One driver is going to elect to stay out here. That's going to be the number 10 of Tim Blum. Donald, at this point, he's probably thinking to himself, what do I have to lose?
Right. I mean, at this point, you might as well just send it. See what happens. See if it sticks.
Yeah, remember, he was just on pit road. He was the last one to pit, and that was 3 laps ago. He came out of pit road, and that's when the yellow came out. So all his laps on the tires have just been kind of cruising around here at right around 75, 80 miles an hour under caution. Dude. All right, sorry about that. Wrong button gives us the sweet train horn flowing through. But Tim Blum still sitting P1. Like we said, Shawn Butler came out first to pit road, so he'll be the first one on 4 fresh tires. As there you see a couple guys. Here comes Tim Blum. This time he's actually going to come down pit road and look. So Tim Blum will hand over the lead here to Shawn Butler. So the lights on the pace car are still on here. Let's see if we can possibly get a word in with driver of the 184. Let's see if we can get a word in. Kevin O'Brien, can you get a copy? It's Roger here in your turn 3 booth.
Yeah, copy that.
Well, Kevin, not the night you wanted to have here. As it looks like you got a little bit of damage on that 184. Are you going to be able to keep pace here the rest of the way, and are you going to be able to finish it out?
I am going to try to finish it, but as for pace, I'm down on pace.
Yeah, down on pace. That Ford Mustang looks a little beat up in the front end. How much damage when you came to pit road was on the counter for that car?
1.5 minutes, but it felt like I should have been in there for more than 10 minutes. I took front end hit that hard. Yeah, it wasn't the perfect exit coming into turn 3, and I'm speechless.
Yeah, not a perfect exit for yourself and that Mustang. Talk about the track here. Did the track temperature or the track state have any effect on the handling of the 184 here at Pocono tonight? The track temp was up over 100 in qualifying and was just a brief 90, cool temperature when we went green flag racing.
Oh, no. Not until I just stuffed it up, so it's handled very good so far, but it was just only that part then where I've just stuffed it, so I'm going to try my best to get back out and push it again, but with the damage I've got, I'm not going to push it.
Well, good luck, Kevin.
It was a good race to begin with, so yeah, it sucks, but you roll the dice, and it is what it is.
It is what it is at this point for the 184 here of Kevin O'Brien. He's going to try and finish this event out A little down on power, he said, but, well, it's the end of the race here, and he's going to try to give her all she's got. Looks like we got the one to go, though, so they're going to double them up. It's going to be Shawn Butler, Max Terriel, David Camaro, Ryan O'Dani is going to take over the 4th spot. Tony Strano makes his first appearance into the top 5 here in that Ford. He's got a nice little U.S. Air Force paint scheme on that number 3 here tonight. And then to the outside of him, going to be the 81 of Patrick Orr. Then it's going to be Ethan Troutman, Joe Strano, James Skelton, Leo Brodage, who just got back onto the lead lap. He'll round out your top 10. A couple drivers coming down pit road here. It's going to be the 33 of Eric Johnson, Josh Buckley in the number 2, Brandon Mitto, and it looks like Richard Murdoch all coming down pit road, trying to play a little bit of strategy along with the number 10 of Tim Blum. So we're going to have to pay attention to that, because when we're going to go back green flag racing, it's going to be exactly 20 laps to go. Remember, Donald, we saw Tim Blum stretch 20 laps. Could these guys at the end of this?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's all about saving fuel and strategizing at this point. I mean, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, never know, as there goes the pace car. Green flag waving here. As you see, I think that's the 84. Not quite sure. We're trying to get a confirmation on one of those drivers that elected to come down pit road and now coming back out onto the outside. See him starting to fan out. David Camara trying to block. That looks like Ethan Troutman down to the inside. Doesn't want to give up that 4th position just yet. Your top 3 drivers, those single file out. That's Terriot, Butler, and O'Dani. And it's going to be Camara, Orr, and Troutman. And then it's going to be Skelton looking to the inside here on Strano. So Tony Strano losing a position here. He'll lose a couple, actually. Now he's shown in your 8th spot. Sun's starting to go down. Temperature's starting to go down. Temperatures inside the car, though, starting to heat up. Shawn Butler lost the lead on that initial start. Max Terriot to the point. Good battle back here for the 5th position, though. Ethan Troutman trying to hang on. Patrick Orr was all over the back end there of that Haas Chevrolet. Orr wants the position. Troutman has it right now. That's a top 5 spot. Everybody wants to go for the top 5. Out of the guys who pitted, though, here comes the 33. Here comes Eric Johnson. He's trying to make his way back through the field quick and furiously. He knows at this point he might have the fuel left in the 33 to make it the rest of the way. He works there to the inside on Tony Strano. He'll get the position as he goes down into the tunnel turn. Tony's going to go high. Eric going to go low. He'll clear him off turn 2. A little bit farther up, though, David Camara. Oh, no, Camara's been into the outside wall. I think that possibly happened that time coming through the tunnel turn there. David Camara, right front damage done to that 972.
Yeah, Roger, there goes that clean car.
Talk about a clean car. Look right behind them. A couple guys getting into the outside wall. I don't know which one that was. I think that might have been Joe Strano, I think. Into the outside wall in that 943 right there, that blue DC Solar. So everybody trying to use up what they have left here for Pocono. Back out front, your 2 leaders have started to kind of separate themselves once again. Ryan O'Dani, though, still sitting there in 3rd. Just under 8/10 back to him. There's your lead. You see it. Not even a half car length. Everybody else is single filed out through your top 10. Nobody running side by side. You'd have to go all the way back. Well, it said side by side. Kyle Souza was side by side with a handful of those guys as they came past. Souza making possibly his last pit stop here of the night.
Hey, Roger, you got a battle back here with Eric Johnson and Joe Strano. Eric Johnson just passed him.
So we didn't get to catch Joe Strano losing a position to Eric Johnson there, but Johnson now moved his way into the 8th position, and now he's got to go to the inside here down into the tunnel turn on the 972 of Camara. So Johnson really on the charge here in the late going. The question is, if we stay green flag to the end, does Johnson have enough fuel to push it?
And to talk about the clean car a little bit, Eric Johnson has a pretty nice car himself.
Eric Johnson probably at this point with only 16 laps to go. Donald probably saying, please stop talking about me. I know I got the clean car. I know I have the 4 fresh tires. At this point, he's probably like, don't give me the broadcaster's jinx. There's no sponsorship on this car. I don't want to wrap her up here tonight at Pocono.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So as Eric Johnson sits there in the 7th position, still out front. It's still Max Terriot. Shawn Butler, Donald, I think might be playing a little bit of a cat and mouse game here. You realize how Shawn Butler has led a number of laps here tonight, and he had the stronger car on the long run as he sits behind Max Terriot. He knows he's probably sitting there talking to his crew chief, crunching the numbers for that 88 car, seeing how far he can go on fuel. With the 88 of Shawn Butler sitting behind. Oh, actually, he's going to pull a strategy here. He's going to be down pit road.
Yes, sir. A handful of cars going down.
So Shawn Butler going to hand over the lead. James Skelton also coming down pit road. I believe David Camara right along with them. So 3 drivers inside the top 10 pulling strategy. Butler, Skelton, and Camara down pit road here. So at this point, they've made their bed. They've had to lay in it. Now the question is, who saved enough? Did Eric Johnson save enough? He's out there still running. What about Max Terriot? Now he has a 1-second lead over Ryan O'Danny. Do either of those 2 drivers that find themselves out front have enough fuel? What about Eric Troutman? He's sitting back here. Can he go back-to-back wins here for the Red Light Scrambler Series? Patrick Orr also sits here inside the top 4. He doesn't have a win either on the season. He could take a win here. He does sit 7th in the points coming into Pocono, but he could really use a win here to really solidify himself into the chase. I can remember back a long time ago, Donald, I came here to Pocono and tried a fuel strategy race like a handful of these drivers. As, oh, you see Troutman way up out of the groove and finds himself into the wall. All I know is these guys don't want to run out of fuel coming out of turn 1 because this is a long 2.5-mile track to coast all the way back around. That's something we don't want to see here tonight, just like we didn't want to see Ethan Troutman up into the outside wall here with under 15 laps to go. But now the 962 heavy contact with the outside wall in turn 1.
Yeah, that's a shame to see that. Hopefully it doesn't hinder his speed and he can keep up. I've been watching him, and he's definitely fuel saving, but here he comes down the pits, so.
Kind of take the fuel strategy, throw it out the window, because here comes Ethan Troutman down pit road. Right now, your lead, though, for Max Terriot, he's kind of stretched it out, almost 2.5 seconds out in front of Ryan O'Danny. So at this point, Max could be kind of on a cruise control, could be saving a little bit of fuel. Well, what about Ryan O'Danny, though? Is he saving fuel, or is he on the loud pedal trying to find his way to the back bumper of the 42 of Terriot? Patrick Orr, at this point, you know he's not saving fuel, and it doesn't really seem like the guy who's running 4th is saving any kind of fuel. We won't talk about him. We're just skip right over Eric Johnson. But how about the battle back here? Josh Buckley going to the inside on Joe Strano. Buckley going to take the position. Leo Brodage going to take the position also, and is that the 10 there of Tim Blum? Tim Blum is 1 lap down, though, at this point. So his night at this point, unless we get a caution, is pretty much wrapped up and sealed the deal for 17th. Joe Strano coming down pit road. Joe Strano going to pit here with 12 laps to go in the race from Pocono. Still sitting at a 2.5 lead. Second lead, though, for Terriot.
Yeah, Roger, as I'm paging through the racers here, they definitely seems like there's some good fuel strategy going on here. Doesn't seem like they're quite sending it as hard as they normally would, so.
Yeah, the pace has kind of slowed down a little bit. Our fastest laps of the race were right around the 52.4 marker. Right now, last time by for your leader of Max Terriot, he's really slowed it down. It's 54.3, so he's 2 seconds slower a lap right now, and he's only been out there for just a handful of laps. It's not like he's been out there for a full fuel run. It's just a 2-second fall off right now. Looks like Patrick Orr is also down pit road. He's going to bring along the 2 of Josh Buckley. So neither of those guys are going to try and push it any farther than they have to. They're going to come down. They're going to get the 4 fresh tires. But just checking up on somebody that's been down pit road, that's the 88 of Shawn Butler. You see him right there on screen in that gray 88 in the Nationwide machine. He's all the way back up into your 5th position. He spent 9.9 seconds on pit road. So maybe a 2-tire stop and a full tank of fuel on the 88 machine. So he is locked and loaded. He's good to go the rest of the way. Right behind him, the 86 there of James Skelton. He is also good to go on fuel. And right behind him, that's going to be the number 943, Joe Strano. He came down pit road. He's good to go. Brandon Minto, though, he's been out there. He was one of those guys that elected to come in and top off before we went green flag racing with the 1 to go. I believe at this point, he is just trying to make it the rest of the way on fuel.
Hey, Roger. Ryan O'Danny's bringing it down the pit lane here.
Ryan O'Danny down pit road, so that hands the lead over now to the 33 here of Eric Johnson. The question is, how far is Johnson going to push it, or is he just going to, at this point, stay out there? He could possibly make it the rest of the way on fuel. At this point, if you didn't pit, as, the 10 of Blum almost into the outside wall there behind the 33 of Johnson. Richard Murdoch runs in your 2nd spot. He's on that same strategy that Eric Johnson is. They run 1-2 right now, but Richard Murdoch has really backed her down. He is about 12 seconds behind Eric Johnson. And then it's another about 9.5 seconds back till you find this man of Shawn Butler. So your top 3 guys are on 3 different strategies. It looks like Eric Johnson is on the full send mode. Richard Murdoch has kind of backed her down. And Shawn Butler came down pit road to top off. He wasn't taking any chances. 9 laps to go here from Pocono. So a lot of space out there on the track right now. We'll just give you a quick rundown here with 9 laps to go. Eric Johnson is out front. Richard Murdoch runs in your 2nd position. Shawn Butler runs 3rd with the first one that's been down pit road. Then it's James Skelton running 4th. Max Terriol is running in your 5th spot. David Camara also made a pit stop. He's back up to running 6th. Ryan O'Danny just made a move around Brandon Minto as Minto is out there trying to pull the strategy. So Ryan going to take back the 7th position. That'll put Minto there into your 8th spot. Ethan Troutman, though, runs 9th with Patrick Orr running in your 10th spot on track. 8 laps to go. Running in 11th, though, going to be the number 3 here of Tony Strano. Josh Buckley outside the top 10 for the first time here this evening. As he works his way around the 3 of Strano, he'll take the 11th spot. Running in 13th, going to be the number 4 here tonight. That's Kyle Souza. He has the 13th spot. He did get a lap back there and then had to come down pit road to top off that car before we went racing. The 59 of Bruce Potter is the last one on the lead lap here tonight, running in your 14th spot. And there is your leader coming across the stripe. He'll see 7 laps to go. Eric Johnson. Can he do it? Can he make the fuel run? Richard Murdoch is 15 seconds back. Right there he is behind the number 11 of Leo Brodage. He'll running in the 17th spot, 1 lap down. So now it's just the waiting game to see whose strategy can make it. We know Shawn Butler is good to go. He's 19 seconds behind Eric Johnson. But he's only 2.5 seconds behind Richard Murdoch for that 2nd spot. James Skelton rebounding for a good run here tonight. Right now finds himself inside the top 5. Remember in the early going, James Skelton getting together with Tim Blum, bringing out our first caution of the night. James had a lot of front end damage on that Miller Lite 86, had to battle back, and so far he's battled back to a 5th spot. The question is, what could have been tonight for James Skelton if he didn't have the damage to the nose of that Mustang? Looks like Ryan O'Danny going to make the move here on David Camara. Camara's been out there longer on the tires, so Ryan O'Danny taking advantage of him just a little bit. Both drivers, I think, had taken 2 tires at the end here for their last stop. Shawn Butler has just about caught the man right in front of him as Butler almost into the wall. Maybe just a little scrape off the tunnel turn there. But Shawn Butler running down Richard Murdoch. So second place for Shawn Butler is right there in his sights as they're going to come off turn number 3. They're going to see the 5 to go marker. Richard Murdoch probably in strong fuel saving mode at this point. He doesn't even try and block the 88 of Shawn Butler. He understands that he is faster. And look at that. Where did Max Terriot come from? He is right on the back bumper here of the 88. Max running that low line as they both work around Richard Murdoch coming out of turn number 1. Now put the 42 to the inside on the 88. Looks like Terriot going to clear him before they get to the tunnel turn. So it'll be now Terriot second, Butler third, and Murdoch fourth. As this all unfolds, Donald, it's still 18 seconds behind your leader of Eric Johnson. They're just going into 3 as Johnson's already down into 1 at this point.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see if Max Terrell has enough time to get to him and see if he can give him anything, but I don't see it.
Max Terriot's only been back out on track after taking a splash of fuel for 6 laps, and there you see the distance as he comes out of turn number 1. 4 laps to go. Eric Johnson still pushing the envelope as he comes through turn 3. He'll see 3 laps to go for the 33. He's given up, Donald. He's coming down pit road right now. That's going to hand the lead over. We'll have to see where Eric Johnson actually comes out as he is down pit road. So the strategy for Johnson not going to play out.
Yeah, I was really pulling for him. I was hoping he'd pull it out and had enough gas in the car, but seems not.
Seems not tonight, as there it is. Max Terriot going to flash on our screen. He's going to be the new leader here with 3 laps to go. Max Terriot now took the lead and has started to pull away from Shawn Butler. Now it's a 1.6 second, 1.7 second lead back to Shawn Butler. So he's starting to open it up. The question is, can he run some good laps here at the end to finish this one off here at Pocono? There you see Kevin O'Brien as he's starting to as the leader starting to work up on the 184, Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien going to pull down to the inside, coming off the tunnel turn, down the short chute. Max Terriot going to come off turn 3. He'll see the 2 to go marker. 2 flags in the air at the start-finish line. 2 more laps around Pocono International here for Max Terriot.
Here we go. It's been a hell of a race.
So it's Max Terriot, 2-second lead over the Butler, who runs in second. Skelton runs back into your 3rd spot. Murdoch is running 4th. He's still out there on that fuel-saving mode. As actually, I believe he's way off the pace trying to save some fuel now in that 01 machine. Ryan O'Danny, though, right behind him, just about a second back, running in your 5th spot. He could walk away with a top 5 here. David Camaro runs 6th. Patrick Orr is 7th. Josh Buckley is in your 8th spot. Eric Johnson came out of pit road after he spent 5.3 seconds in his box, now running 9th. Ethan Troutman is running in your 10th spot in the 962. White flag about to be in the air as he comes off turn number 4. Max Terriot going to see 1 lap to go. 2.5 miles left here in this event. He's now opened up the gap over Shawn Butler to a 2.4 second lead. Terriot has led the most laps here at Pocono tonight. 37 laps so far, being led by the 42 machine out front. Can he make it 38 laps? Shawn Butler's led 23 laps here tonight. And, well, the 33 of Eric Johnson has led 8. So it's pretty easy to say that Terriot's going to take the most laps led here tonight at Pocono, as long as he can come back through the tunnel. There you see it, easy through the tunnel, nice and easy. Still has a 2.6 second gap over Shawn Butler. Turn 3 just one more time, Donald.
Yeah, I think that he has this locked up here. Nobody's even close to him, so here he comes.
There you saw it, off turn 3 he comes. Max Terriot going to win tonight here From Pocono, Shawn Butler going to come home P2, along with James Skelton. Good rebound for Skelton. He comes home in third. Richard Murdoch being shown, it was for the time being there in fourth, but actually we see that on the timing and scoring. It's actually Ryan O'Danny that's going to get fourth. Richard Murdoch finds himself in fifth. He made it 20 laps on fuel. He was able to push it unlike anybody else. David Camara comes home in your sixth spot with Patrick Orr in seventh. Josh Buckley going to come home in your eighth spot. Eric Johnson comes home ninth after trying to stretch it as far as he could. He didn't think he could make it the whole way, so he came down pit road with 3 laps to go. He'll come home ninth. Last week's winner of Ethan Troutman comes home in your 10th spot. Tony Strano is 11th. Kyle Souza 12th. Brandon Mitto runs 13th. Bruce Potter is 14th. Joe Strano 15th. Leo Brodage right there comes home 16th. Tim Blum still running out there. He comes home in your 17th spot. Christopher Rothrock, your last car running here tonight, comes home in 18th. Kevin O'Brien does come home 19th. Jesse Baker comes home 20th. And Lee Betzel comes home in your 21st spot.
Yeah, I think your leader's actually helping somebody out get across the line here.
Yeah, Max Terriot helping out the number 10 here of Tim Blum to come across the start-finish line to finish the event out. And then he's going to go straight into doing a little bit of celebration, and he actually found the outside wall. The car did look pretty clean until that point. Well, as we watch the 42 here of Max Terriot do a little bit of celebrating, we're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to see if we can get to your post-race interviews here with a couple of these drivers to hear what they sing, or hear what they think and say about the Pocono Raceway. Welcome back here to Pocono Raceway. 75 laps in the books here tonight for the Red Light Scrambler Series. What a race we had. It came down to really 2 drivers all night battling near each other. Shawn Butler and Max Terriot kind of battling it out. Max seemed to be the man who got a little bit of an edge here tonight as he came home with a little bit of strategy play. We'll talk to him in just a moment, but before we get to either of those 2 drivers that finished 1-2 here tonight, how about we get a quick word in here with the 86 of James Skelton. James, it was a pretty good night for yourself. You started up inside the top 5, got a little bit of a scuffle in the early going, but you battled all the way back here to finish 3rd tonight.
Yeah, I was talking to Shawn. He's one of my teammates, and about midway through the race said, I think I'm a 3rd place car, and I started up there, and then I'm trying to watch the replay right now with myself and Tim just to see what happened. And then I got a black flag. I exited pit too quick. I went up on the racetrack just a smidge too much and got a black flag, and I thought my race was over, and had a little strategy call there at the end, ran, 4 laps and just took 2 rights, and it got me some good track position and came home 3rd.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be an uphill battle for yourself, especially after that black flag. Tell us how you worked your way through the field here tonight. Pocono, it's a big track. There's a lot of room, but it kind of seems narrow once it gets down into the corners.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for it being such a big track, it's really a one groove track, all the way through. So one's always been, my best turn. So that's where I can make up the most time and then, make my passes, going through 1, trying to get into the tunnel and hopefully they'll give way. And then through 2 and 3, I just try to break even with most guys.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities, a lot of different strategies being played here tonight. It looks like you came down with about 6 laps to go. Not enough fuel in the 86 to make it all the way from that last yellow flag.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were definitely, at least 4 to 6 laps short. I knew somebody would probably try it. I know the 01, the 33, I think they went for it, but that was just too much of a gamble. And we thought, most guys will probably run 10 then pit. And then we said, just get some clean air, run, 3 or 4 laps and just take 2 rights and have a little bit of a quicker stop with fuel.
Yeah, so it was a good stop by your team, obviously, to get you out there to finish out tonight in third. Next week, though, it's a whole new ball game. We head over to ISM for the trucks, round 1 of the playoffs. Are you looking forward to heading over to ISM with the trucks?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of my favorite tracks. But how I always look into it, for the chase is, the first round or 2, I just want to survive. So obviously, I'm going there, to win the race. But at the same time, Phoenix can have some carnage, going into those turns. So just got to play it safe and get out there with a good points day.
Well, good points day here tonight for you, James. Is there anybody you need to give a shout out to for the 86?
Yeah, of course, I'll give a shout out to my teammates, the 88, the 2, and then the 51 couldn't make it. We do a lot of practicing, a lot of strategy. We work really good together, and, shout out to you guys for coming on board. And, later on tonight, I'll definitely check out the broadcast.
Well, we're glad to be here with the Red Light Scrambler series there. You just heard it from your third-place finisher here tonight, James Skelton, coming home P3 after starting in your 4th position, and it was kind of an up-and-down night for him, but a good, solid finish all around. Donald, I believe you may have caught up with the driver who finished 2nd here tonight, Shawn Butler.
I did, yes. I did catch up with the 88 car. Shawn Butler. I was rooting for you, man. I thought you had something there at the end, but you came in at 2nd, which isn't bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Max Max had the right call there. I didn't know what the car would handle like on older left side tires. That's why I just opted to pit when I was in my fuel window, and obviously that was the wrong call, but good solid race for us. Running up front the whole night and battling Max was a lot of fun, and congratulations on coming home first. And wasn't meant to be tonight, but there's always next week.
Absolutely, next week. If I recall, you are in the chase though, so that's always a good thing to look forward to, and get going there.
Oh yeah, definitely in the chase, and looking forward to seeing if we can win it back to back. It's been a while since we've had that happen in our league. Competition's too great, and see what we can do. Like James was saying, it's all about surviving the first round and getting thinning out the herd a little bit, and then being there for the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I myself, I'm pretty new to the booth, but you guys did put a hell of a show on. Excuse me.
Yeah, I took right side tires, and I did not be able to make practice last night, so I had never tried right side tires, and I didn't know what it would do if I ran halfway on that run, because there's no way in heck I could make 20 laps, so I knew I had to split it up. And Max said he had tried it last night, so he knew what it drove like at 10 laps, and he knew it was going to be better. So like I said, that extra practice helps sometimes. I just wasn't able to make it last night, but that's all it was. Just a little bit fresher right side tire is all I needed. Oh, my teammates over there. It's who the heck is it? It's James and Joshua Buckley and DJ Anderson. Like you said, we all practice and try to figure out strategy and stuff. But we didn't put this one in the strategy book for tonight, so we'll have to work on that for the coming weeks.
Well, all in all, a good night here for Shawn Butler. Not a win, but a second-place finish. We did catch up with the driver of the 42 here of Max Terry. Max, you're the winner here from Pocono. How does it feel to tame the tricky triangle? It's a tricky word, I guess, to say.
Yeah, let's just say that practice paid off. Last night's call for 2 tires. It was a repeat for tonight, and when I saw them go in with 15 to go, I thought I had the edge if there were no caution to the end, and it worked. So finally a win at Pocono.
Yeah, Pocono, a track that really eats tires a lot. Did you save enough there that you knew you were going to be able to run away from Shawn at the end?
Not really, because the left sides didn't wear out that much, and 2 tires halfway through the last stint was good enough to run hard till the end.
So you were able to pick up your second win here of the season with the Red Light Scrambler Series. We're going to head into the chase next week. It looks like you kind of walked away here. You had a 17-point lead. I believe the points just got updated here. So a 17-point lead over Tim Blum here after tonight's race. What do you need to go forward here into the chase to walk away a champion?
Pretty much stay out of accidents, keep a clean car, and hope for consistent finishes. The first 2 rounds, that's what it takes to move on. Afterwards, it gets more competitive for the last 2 rounds. But let's start off with a good run at Phoenix, and then we'll see from there.
Yeah, ISM, another one of those tricky tracks next week. You know, it looks like a 3-turn track just like Pocono, but a lot smaller. Is that a track that you kind of circle on the calendar and say, yeah, we can do pretty good there with the 42 camper? Or is it a track that you would rather bypass?
Yeah, that's one track that I've had issues with before. I've been either running good or bad, but never had good finishes. So that's one that I'm going to practice for, and it's really different from any other track. So we might get new drivers up front and battle for the win. So I'm excited for this first round.
Yeah, so the first round you're going to be able to catch next week, but that's next week. This week, you're the winner here from Pocono with the 42 camp. Who do you got to thank for your win here this week?
First of all, we have to wish again James Skelton happy birthday. So if you're wanting to chat, make sure you celebrate his birthday with the broadcast. And I'll say a shout out to my girlfriend and my friend Max at Max in the Team. I know there was a good battle for the last playoff spot between Kyle, Leo, and Joe. I think it might be like Leo and Kyle who made it. So, I mean, congrats to everyone making the playoffs, and we'll see you guys next week.
Well, there you heard it from Max Terriot winning tonight here from Pocono, and he's going to walk into the chase with his head held high, his chest out. It's going to be his chance now at this point to see if he can go further on into it. But tonight's race here from Pocono in the books. Max Terriot winning here, leading the most laps. 38 laps led tonight by him. Shawn Butler finishing P2. He led 23 laps. Then it was James Skelton, the birthday boy that we were just kind of past the note there. So we got to thank Max for sharing that tidbit of information for James's birthday. We don't want to really throw him under the bus too much, but congratulations to James on a 3rd place finish and a birthday. How about Ryan O'Danny coming back to a 4th place finish with Richard Murdoch playing the strategy there, finishing 5th. Next week, though, we talked about it, ISM, round 1 of the chase. It's going to be driven in the trucks. These guys like to cycle through a couple of these stock cars and, well, eventually even wind up in the truck. So round 1 next week from ISM. We'll catch you next time right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network with the Red Light Scrambler Series.